We have lost a gracious former president of the United States here. He beaten all odds this year that no one was expected by last year. Um, but first, he was an ally of democracy and human rights, uh, of Habitat for Humanity, and surely he's had a kind of a rough presidency. Inflation, energy crisis like this year. Um, but from the peanuts, from the peanuts here, I think from before the New Hampshire primary, he wasn't well known, but he became known here. But this is a person who was the first president in history to become a centurion this past October. And even 100 years old is still not long enough to live. As that unfortunately it was 3 days short of ringing in the new year with Carter. I have to say, his legacy lived on for human rights and democracy. And I have to say, and I have to, reflect to anybody else is here of him and Bush, that democracy is not limited to America, and that everybody else, that people want to be free. That wasn't the case of Syria, who was earlier, who was toppling this ruthless leader. That I have to say that justice will not be done until Assad is caught. But it just demonstrates that democracy is is universal, and God is not neutral into this, and our Savior sides democracy as well as peace. And he's shown that he's offered the Nobel Peace Prize. But there should be like a Nobel Democracy Prize here. Like, people want to be free. And they have a right to have a roof over their heads. And that, I think, every person should have a right to have a roof over their heads. Have a comfortable life. With everybody should have a right for discretionary spending. Discretionary spending, I have to say, is the backbone of the industry. If no one has discretionary industry, our economy suffers. And I have to say, Habitat for Humanity is not only able to live, but able to live in a rich life. And so I think the rest of the world in the United States has recognized the values of Jimmy Carter. But we gotta say, 100 years is just ain't enough. And it's just a sad thing that this happened just 3 days short of the new year. I wish that, Jimmy Carter lives to watch our nation turn 250 years old. But I gotta say, we've lost a great person who was kind of like losing a family member. And so that's what I have to say about this. Rest in peace, Carter. You will be missed for his humanity, Habitat for Humanity, which I believe that should be extended for folks who have a chance to have something discretionary, to live something discretionary. So that's what I have to say. Rest in peace. Love us to Carter. And the last thing I have to say, that Jimmy Carter will once again reunite with Rosalind Carter in heaven. And they have to know that they've left they left the path of legacy that would hopefully that will strengthen democracy and peace for the future.